Your baby's close to you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Courtney.
Police, what's going on 5515th Street? What's going on down there? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please, Frank.
Hello? Oh, nothing working right here. I don't know freaking shit. Hello? Oh my gosh, and I'm talking without my still hiccups. What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for all the no audio. I knew I was going to do that too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you guys so much for the support. I cannot believe it's been a year. It's gone by so fast. And I just want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart, because I couldn't have done it without your guys' support. So thank you so much. So we've got a special guest. So let me introduce her. We got Gisela from Grizzly True Crime. And right
Hello.
here. How's it going?
Hello, and happy 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you. You just celebrated yours last month.
Yes. Can
That's
you believe it?
awesome.
Oh, my word. We were in the same orbit covering the Gabby Petito case and all that. Amazing. You've done amazing.
Yes, thank you. Same to you. Yeah. And of course, I still have hiccups. We're human and we make mistakes. And of course, I'm using StreamYard, so obviously, and I don't usually use StreamYard when I stream. So there's always hiccups when it comes to using this service. But I thought we would talk about the journey. We'll talk about we'll go over like my first video that I did, my first live show, because we took although we did kind of the same path, we took two different roads to get there.
Yeah.
In a sense. So
I
it's kind of
really
interesting.
Just hold on. If I'm looking, I'm kind of looking. Look, if I'm looking at you, I'm looking the other way. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So hold on 1 second, everyone. Let's just quickly do this. Flip horizontal. How's this? Ooh, am I looking at you now?
Wow.
Yeah, now I'm looking at you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Sorry.
Awesome.
So repeat the question, please.
No, we're just like I said, I've got some videos. I'm gonna play some of my first videos that because when I first started this channel, I was gonna do a top 5, or I was gonna do like a top 6 or 7. I was going to do like an odd number,
Wow.
to kind of make it,
Yep.
something unique. But then after doing a few of those and it not really going anywhere, and then I took kind of a break, and then the Gabby Tito thing happened. And then, of course, that hit home with me because that, obviously I was in Ohio at the time, but of course, seeing the footage of Gabby that was here in Moab, Utah. And so that hit home with me. And then, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just,
Right.
yeah, it was crazy. So,
And that's when I became aware of you as well, because you were making content like me every day, and we still make content almost every day.
Yes.
Now we're both little workaholics. But what made you want to start a YouTube channel, especially in true crime and paranormal? Because you say true crime, mysteries, and paranormal.
Yes.
What made you actually want to start that and actually do it?
So it was so weird on my way, because so I think some people know this, and I think it's in my members only video, but I actually, because we all have ups and downs in life, and before I started my YouTube channel, I had lost my apartment, because living by yourself in an apartment here in Utah, the cost of living so high, and I'm sure it is like that in a lot of places, but it's very high here in Utah as well. And I got sick. I lost my job. I was working at the post office, and unfortunately, you just can't miss days when you work at the post office. And unfortunately, I lost my job. I got sick. I lost my apartment. I was basically homeless. I was literally homeless, sleeping in my car. And then I had a buddy in Ohio say, hey, come out. You can come live with my family. And so that's why I went out to Ohio. And that was just... So I started last year, which was 2021. I went homeless in 2019. Yeah, 2019, just on the verge of just before COVID.
Yeah.
And then the COVID thing hit. And then, but that whole time, it was weird. In my car, this is so crazy. In my car, the videos I was watching, because I didn't have TV, I just had my phone. So all I only watched was YouTube. And so I watched literally Ewo Crew and Mr. Ballin and that chapter.
Those man, you're saying all my favorite words.
Yeah. And then of course Missing 411 as well.
Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin inspired me to start my channel. I was like, I want to do that. I want to do what he's doing. Like these stories, but his storytelling is phenomenal. I mean, now that I've also been a content creator for just over a year, I'm like, damn, Mr. Ballin's storytelling.
Yes.
I would. But yeah, that's amazing that you took struggle and turned it into creativity, which I really commend you for. It's really amazing that you did that. And look at you now. Look at you a year later.
Yeah. Oh, I would never believe. I was just looking at some statistics, and I know there's a lot of people in here they've got their channels just started, and just keep working at it. The statistic for a channel is to get even just to 1,000 subscribers is approximately 12 to 15 months.
And they actually say the average is 2 years, huh?
Yeah.
24 months for the average person to get to 1,000 subscribers and maybe join the YouTube partnership program. Man.
Yeah, crazy. Thank you so much, Rob McMullen. Congratulations, Chris, on your 1-year anniversary. It's party time.
It's party time. Rob, that's awesome. Rob's a grizzly too.
It's weird. It doesn't feel, I mean, it does, and it doesn't, because usually, doing true crime, there's always something to look into. So it's weird.
I felt the same. You were there on my 1 year as well. It was like, okay, we're partying, but let's also talk true crime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And so we will, if we get a little bit of time, and I am, because I'm also going to have another guest on the hour or a little after, and that's Steve from True Crime Web. He started his channel about approximately 2 months ago. Cool. And he just hit his 1K.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations to him for that. That's amazing. And, you got people in here like Arctic True Fox. I know there's a bunch, and I'll try to shout you out as I see it. They're just starting their channels, and, keep at it. And eventually down the road, I would love to have some other people on the show to kind of help out, like True Crime with Shannon, because they've done amazing work. And so just keep at it, guys. Apple Pip says, happy first year on YouTube. I've had an unexpected hospital visit since Thursday, Sorry I couldn't watch lives, but home today. Oh, that's great. And have tried to catch up. Let's hope you're doing better. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
It's no fun to be in the hospital.
Oh, hell no.
So yeah, let's see. Let me do this, and we're going to okay.
Make it rain, everyone. Make it rain. Get those super stickers rolling. I can say it for you right here. We're partying hard now.
Yeah. Okay, so even though we're partying, we still cover the missing. Even if we're partying, we got people in here.
Cool.
So we're
Like
gonna quickly just do 2 cases real quick. So we've got Stephen Carl. He went missing in Mesa, Arizona. A lot of people go missing in Arizona. It's something that I want to do a video on here in the near future. So he was last seen on Sunday the 17th. So that was just days ago. His phone last pinged in Tempe at McClintock and Apache Boulevard. Family and friends have not been able to reach him. No social media activity. He has a burgundy 2015 Toyota Tacoma, unknown license plate. Looks like a handsome guy, just 26, brown hair.
And they haven't found his car either, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the number. Anybody's out there. Thank you, Linda, so much. And I'm sorry, guys, if I do miss a chat or if I do miss a super sticker, if you could just let me know. But thank you guys so much. Thank you, Linda. Okay. And then one more, and then we'll get into the journey here. So this is another one. So this is Christina Chrissy Lee Powell, 39 years old, missing from San Antonio, Texas. So it says that she's a mom of 2, missing after seen rushing from her Apple Creek home in San Antonio while running late to work, wearing dark pants, a long sleeve shirt at 10:30 in the morning on July 5th. So that was kind of about 2 weeks ago. According to doorbell camera video, she was carrying her purse but neglected to take her cell phone. Oh no. Or her Apple Watch. Oh no.
It's a huge red flag. This is one I deep dived as well, and it's crazy. This story is crazy.
Oh, so you kind of about it, huh?
Yeah. So the whole timeline's there, but to see the video and everything is like, wait, what? That's a red flag to leave that behind. Yeah.
Yeah. So she drives a black Nissan Rogue 2020, and here's the license plate. If anybody's seen her, there's the number to call. So yeah, let me show you guys just a really beautiful sets thing. Let me catch up to. And there's Christian behind the crime door. Congratulations on an amazing year. So it's an inspiration to all of us in the true crime world. Yes, like I said. And I can't wait to show you guys my little journey, and we will here in just a second.
Cool.
Dana from Alaska, $10. Congratulations, Chris. You've came a long way, baby. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Did I miss any? And I see one of my original mods in here, Zanny Moonstone. So glad to see you back in here. Okay.
There was one other one from Bridget Bowman. Yes.
Thank you, Bridget. Cool. You're awesome. You guys are so awesome. Like I said, I couldn't be here. Oh, and one more. Mia Moore, Michelle, right. Gee, get them going, Chris. You deserve all the happiness and success in the world. Your honest way has painted an awesome way for a lot of us. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I do try to keep it honest and humble, and so. Okay, so there's a close-up of Chrissy. Let's hope she will be found soon. So let's okay. So here's just an overall. Okay, there's one more. Try to get these cars. Just discovered your channel. Professional, no drama. May you have many more years to come. Thank you so much, Cars. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much. So here's just an overall view of 1 year. So 5.2 million views and almost 33,000 subscribers.
Yes.
So not too shabby. And like I said, if I can do it, you guys can do it. If for those that are wanting to do this. Thank you so much, Caroline. And I'm going to show you just kind of where I started my first video. I thought it'd be kind of fun to watch that. And then also got a screenshot of where I went from like 100 views to 10,000 views to like 100,000 views. And just to show you guys that are like just starting and in this true crime world, that all it takes is that one video for YouTube to see you. Yeah. And then you get that ball rolling. So you just got to keep at it. Yes. So here is, I thought we would watch my first video. Thank you so much, Evelyn's mom. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get caught up. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Evelyn's mom. You guys are so awesome. Okay. All right. I'm going to play this okay, so let's remove that. And I've got a couple of them. Is this? Okay, this is it. So this is my first YouTube video. Like I said, I was going to do like a top 5 crazy facts, and then I was going to switch it to a top 7 or, like an odd number. So here's my very first one.
Welcome to the monsters under our bed.
So you can already tell that I don't have a decent mic. It's probably my headphones like this with a mic on it. No Yeti or anything. Just straight up laptop. That's all I've got.
O.J. Simpson had an impressive NFL career, which eventually got him inducted into the Hall of Fame. After that, he started acting in comedies like the Naked Gun series. But all that would change as his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were brutally murdered. O.J. Simpson was the lead suspect, although the evidence clearly pointing at O.J. Simpson being the killer. With the help of a dream team of defense lawyers, he was found not guilty. The events after the murder and during the trial would lead to some of the most memorable moments in TV history. Here are some crazy facts about O.J. Simpson. During the trial, O.J. Simpson stopped taking his arthritis medication, which caused his hands to swell up. During the trial, prosecutor Christopher Darden would have O.J. Simpson try on the glove that was used in the murder, in a dare by Lee Bailey. Since O.J.'s hands were swollen from not taking his prescribed medicine, the defense had no problem having him stand up and face the jury and try on the glove, which clearly looked way too small. O.J. would create quite a memorable scene as he tried so hard to put on that glove for the jury. This one was for the Oscars, and he sold it. It clearly wouldn't fit his giant hand. This would lead to the infamous line by Johnny Cochran, "If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit."
So that is crazy. So yes, these are some, for those just tuning in, this is my very first YouTube video a year ago,
Wow.
Which is just crazy to see this. So we'll keep it
Economy
going.
lost $480 million in productivity on the day of the verdict. Nearly everyone that day stopped what they were doing and tuned in to hear the verdict. This means long-distance calls dropped by 58%, trading volume dropped by 41% on the New York Stock Exchange, government meetings were delayed, and more. According to GQ magazine, this could have led to the loss of $480 million in productivity. As for many that were around for that time period, I could tell you exactly where I was during the verdict. I was in 5th grade English class, and our teacher had us stop what we were doing so we could watch the verdict. I remember, as the verdict came in, how upset she was.
Do you remember, where were you? Do you remember, were you following this at all? I mean,
I literally wasn't following it because I was in South Africa and it just wasn't really that much on my radar. So I've never really deep dived it. I didn't follow it at the time. Can you believe it? Damn.
That makes sense. I mean, it was huge here in the U.S. The Bronco chase and everything. It was crazy. Wow. I mean, literally all that money for regular production for one day. It's crazy. Just some of the things that happen. Thank you so much, son. You've came so far, Chris. Your passion for true crime has shown all along. Too many more years. Cheers from Texas. Thank you so much, son.
He reportedly hasn't paid the $33.5 million he owes to the Goldman family.
Okay, I'm going to skip this a little bit just so we can kind of get. Let's see. I want to play this. Okay, this one's interesting.
Reward.
Just
the family reported
they
they have not received anything from Simpson. Simpson's infamous Bronco chase had 95 million viewers watching, which led to record sales for Domino's Pizza.
Wow.
The chase involving the white Ford Bronco and police led to 95 million viewers. According to Business Insider, while being glued to our TVs and there for the commercials, which included one for Domino's Pizza, the ad placement was so effective it led to record sales for the company.
Wow.
I just can't help but wonder how many pizzas were delivered that day in a white Ford Bronco. Food for thought.
Yeah, crazy. Everybody's watching this long Bronco chase. I don't know how many hours it went on for, but everybody's glued to their TV watching this chase. And then a Domino's ad pops up, and that was their like biggest,
Wow.
day. That's so crazy. So thank you so much, Shay. Happy anniversary. Thank you guys. Thank you, Shay. And thank you guys so much. Hopefully I'm caught up here. So I'm going to play just this last one here because okay, this one's interesting. I
If she had opened the door with the knife.
So there was a documentary 30 for 30 called Made in America, O.J. Simpson, Made in America, where he talks to, because obviously his only friend was his Mike Gilbert, his agent. And his agent, when he was released and everything, or after the court, and he was found not guilty, they went to his home, and Gilbert asked him that night, he's like, so what really happened? And he actually kind of told him that I did it, and the reason why is because she opened the door with the knife in her hand.
Oh my.
Now add that into that he was also turned down from his girlfriend, and then obviously his ex-wife, they went to a restaurant with the family, and so he was turned down by two different people, and we obviously know he's got that temper.
Knife in her hand,
yeah,
she'd still be alive. In the highly acclaimed documentary O.J. Made in America, they interview Mike Gilbert, who was O.J. Simpson's agent. He says Simpson had smoked some marijuana, taken a sleeping pill, and while drinking beer, confided in Mike Gilbert at his Brentwood home shortly after his trial. Mike asked what happened the night of the murders, and Simpson said, if she hadn't opened the door with the knife in her hand, she'd still be alive. You see, earlier that night, O.J.'s girlfriend had turned him down, and his ex-wife Nicole Simpson was going out to eat dinner with the family, and they didn't invite O.J. He was known for his jealousy and his short temper, and I think he was reaching a boiling point. And when he went to confront Nicole after she came back from the restaurant, O.J. Simpson lost it, and sadly Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman were brutally slain. This video.
So yeah, pretty crazy. So yeah, that was my first video. There's a few parts I skipped, but that was the first video, and then I think it ends with my little 3
videos each week. Thank you.
Let's see. I'm trying to see what I did for my outro, if I even did anything. So that was it.
But it's really good with all the pictures and all the text in between and everything. Editing was really good from day one. Yeah. Yeah,
because I've always been in video production. So because I used to skateboard and I used to edit all our footage together. So so I've always been in video editing, and that's what I love. And that's why I love to do paranormal, because that allows me to expand on my video editing skills. And it's not just the paranormal, but it's a lot of fun. And for those that are newer to the channel, my paranormal is more based on like true, there's some kind of truth behind it. It's not just a ghost story, or like we've done Skinwalker Ranch. I do some missing 411s that I think fall in the line with paranormal and stuff like that. So I at least like to have some kind of fact or truth into it, but so what was your first video? What do you remember?
My first video was actually a podcast episode that I added some like visuals to, kind of like stock videos and things, which I shared on Patreon recently, because I'm like, it wasn't too bad. but I'm a deleter. I deleted it, from YouTube. It's on Patreon now, though.
Oh, okay.
But
So it's
yeah,
still
the
there.
first one's not there. But yeah, it was just a podcast episode that I edited into a video.
Wow.
On one of the books that I wrote. So I think
That's
it was the
right.
Jeffrey Dahmer one. Yeah.
Because you wrote books before YouTube.
Yeah, I wrote 4 true crime books before, ebooks, audiobooks, and narrating it. Oh my word. People think I
Crazy.
work hard now. The narrating, nothing will ever compare to that. Narrating audiobooks is deadly. But yeah, so then I made podcast episodes with video overlays and did that for all 4 books, and that's pretty much where I started.
Yeah. Rosewood says, yes, I am going to be doing some more for sure. I love David Pilates, so I will definitely be doing some more of his stories. Thank you so much, Brookie, for the super sticker. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you guys, everybody, for just tuning in. We will try to touch on Dylan Rounds a little bit, and then later in the show, I'm going to have Steve, who is a former detective and former law enforcement. Thought we'd kind of pick his brain on a couple of things as well, see what he thinks about the case. So thank you, Brookie. You're awesome. So here's a screenshot. So just to show you guys, for those that are starting your YouTube channels and stuff, just to kind of show you where I started. So if you look, so I started obviously a year ago in July. I did like 4 or 5 of those kind of videos that you just saw. And I kind of did I tried to do a humor one, and they were just kind of like top 5. And then I kind of took a break for a little bit. And then I was starting to work on a new video. And then that's when Gabby Petito happened.
Yeah.
And so I think I kind of took August off, and then September happened. And then that's when obviously we started seeing the Gabby Petito. So as you can see here in this video here, probably even didn't have more than like 200 views, but I did end up getting 700 views. Oh yeah, you can't see my mouse. I forget about that. But as you can see in the next line, I got 1,000 the next day, and then look the jump from September 20th to September 21st, the next day, from 1,000 views to 20,000.
Yeah.
Just to show you guys that all it takes is that one time to get YouTube's attention, and then boom. And then here I'll kind of show you where it kind of progressed from there. But here's a bigger picture of it. But so here we kind of got the 1,000 up top, 22,000, 40,000, 50,000. Then the biggest one of my biggest ones was 150,000. And that's the one where I had pointed out that he had 2 phones, or he had a phone. Yeah, that was the one that really kind of put me on the board. But yeah, that was crazy. I mean, this is all obviously covering the Gabby Petito case. And, but say something like the Delphi murder case gets solved or something like that here in the near future. Anybody covering that case, as long as you put the work and time into it, you're going to take off. And it doesn't have to be that. You can still get YouTube's attention. It just, you just got to find something that's going to kind of make you stick out. But yeah, that's just kind of my story, in a nutshell, is just covering the Gabby Petito case. And the first big video that really broke out was that video where I noticed, and I know I wasn't the first one, but I was probably the first one to put out the video catching Brian Laundrie lying to the officer about, I
don't have a phone. Oh, here's my phone.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
I don't have one.
Yeah, I think people are still dissecting that video to this day. You know what I mean? Just because
people include me. I'm just look at it. I look at it sometimes. Like literally, if I can't sleep, I'm like, oh my word, let's just look at that again. And I'm like, oh my word.
Yeah.
Like there's so much. That case. Wow.
So true. And so yeah, that's just to show people that it's and like this video that's got like 1,000 views probably only had like maybe 500 views, and it's just people that when you gain subscribers, they rewatch your old stuff. So a lot of these probably the smaller videos probably even had less views than that. It's just because it's when you obviously get more subscribers, a lot of people like to go back on your content. But yeah, that's that's kind of it. But so the two roads that we took is you did live shows where
Yeah.
I just did regular uploads. So
Wow.
how was
Yeah, that's
that?
amazing. Yeah, that was just, I mean, I had a lot of anxiety being on camera, which is kind of why I started my channel, to just dip my toe in and see what it would be like. And then as well, I covered the Gabby Petito case and did not expect it to go like that. However, I decided, like, if you're going to make a dent in the universe, you're going to have to kick down some doors. So I just went live because I just found it embraced the anxiety better. You know, you're just there. You're there with everyone. You can see it all happening in the chat and you're showing things. And it just felt easier to tell the story. Because I get lost. I know you've said before as well, in trying to perfect the music that you make for your trailers, like the beat and the video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, if I start editing, I get lost in that editing world where you're trying to make it so perfect. It takes hours and hours and hours and hours. So for me, it just worked better to go live. But it was crazy because at one stage, there were 6,000 people, which now you've experienced in the Dylan Rounds case. Huh?
Yeah.
6,000 people. It was 18 people in my live stream. And then suddenly in this case, there was 6,000 people. And I'm like, oh my word. It was crazy. That was absolutely crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, I think I hit close to almost 3,000 with that. And of course, that was the video. That was the live that I literally had because I had the shingles and I took some medicine for it. And I literally had a panic attack because I thought I was going to throw up.
That's the thing. If you see that number, it feels like that, where you're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
And you get that nauseous feeling, and I can understand why you felt like that.
Yep. The funny thing is, it wasn't even actually the number. I mean, yes, that was probably raising the anxiety, but just like I said, I started getting like sick to my stomach, and then I'm like, oh my gosh. Then of course the views kind of kept going. The viewers kept going up. I'm like, oh gosh, that was tough.
Right. So people were like, yay, 1,000 people are here. And then it's like, boom, 3,000 people are here. Wow.
Crazy. Thank you, Brad Hamill, for the $12. You're awesome. Awesome job, Chris. Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome. Let me get caught up on the comments here. But yeah, so now just to show you guys, so to me, like when I started doing my channel, of course, you kind of see, like when you post your videos, you kind of see like who's next to you, you know. And of course, I saw Gisela, and I'm like, so I'd watch her content when I had the chance, and I was like, oh my gosh, she does so amazing, does such a great job, amazing the way she could talk live. Like I know I mix words all the time. I am not the best at live. I'll be honest. You know, I'm not afraid to admit it. Live. I appreciate that, but I know that's not my strong suit. My strong suit is video editing, but you know what? That's why I say, like, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And
I agree. Me too. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I'm very anxious, and I'm doing live streams too. Here I am, everyone.
Yeah.
Look at us, anxious over here. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh wait. I just missed it. I was gonna Apple Pip put something. Yeah, we thought you were going to run off.
Oh, no.
You being sick. Yeah, I thought so too. But it just, it happens. And then Molly, I know she just started her channel. I know there's a lot of people in here just starting channels. You just got to keep working at it, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to have True Crime Web on a little bit later. He started his channel just 2 months ago, and he just hit that 1K. So that's awesome. And
that is amazing. Wow.
Yeah. And he definitely deserves it. Former law enforcement has given me some great tips. It's amazing. And we'll definitely kind of pick his brain a little bit about the Dylan Rounds case. I don't think he knows much about it, but I think it'd be pretty easy.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
So let's see, what else do I got? So let's see.
Patricia was saying here, Patricia Burns was saying that we both do those intros and trailers. And I must say, I'm just pointing it out because I really don't see many channels doing these like trailers that we do. We both love epic trailers. You guys, let us know if you see it anywhere else. I haven't seen it really, where people make trailers and intros and live stream ones. It's cool, right? I love that we have that in common.
Yes. And so just for you guys to want to see behind the hood just a little bit, I'm just going to show you guys just the madness and what, and I know me and Gisela were talking behind the scenes, and we kind of spend about the same time on these trailers. But
Yeah.
so I use, for those that may want to know, I use OpenShot Video Editor. It's free. You would want to prefer like a Adobe Photoshop editor or Adobe Video Editor, but OpenShot works fine for me. Yeah. And to just kind of show you guys the madness that is my trailers, this is like I said, what it looks like put together. Taken apart, I guess you should say.
Yeah.
So all these little boxes that you're seeing here are little clips. I got a little picture here where I filter him in. You've got the audio down here. All these are the audios. This is the music here. Little clips that I put in. Then the wording. So the green shed, this is, filtered in. So, I mean, this is just, and so something like this, which this was what, a 7-minute video, that probably took me, 6 hours? I would say, I'd say almost an hour a minute it takes me to put something together.
Yeah, I think people think it's, quickly make a trailer, but it's like, and there goes the whole day.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys appreciate it a lot. It sure takes time.
So true. But yeah, I think because I just love video editing. So, and then of course my OCD, I'm like, wait a minute, is the music right? With the theme. And I always, for those that are wondering, just even a deeper dive into this, I actually start with audio first and the music first. And then gives me, like, that puts visuals in my head of what I want to put in the video. Mm-hmm. So just to kind of like a little behind the scenes of,
And it's inspiring that you use free software just for anyone, who wants to start a channel. There's a lot of really cool free software to use. You don't need all the fancy equipment and stuff. You can get a lot of cool stuff. My first videos were made with, Lightworks. Also free software. Not the best because it's 720p when you export it, unless you pay. But damn, I mean, there's a lot of really cool, like Audacity is free. And I narrated all my audiobooks using Audacity. Up to Amazon standard, and it's free. Yep. You can literally do that. So
yeah. I use Audacity. I think Audacity is the best. So easy.
Yeah.
Very. Thank you, Jamie. You two are the bomb. Thank you so much. Real quick, thank you so much, Maria, for the Venmo. And I saw somebody else real quick. Pamela, I swear I just saw your name. Sometimes I get them, and then sometimes I don't. So yeah.
Look at Samantha's comment. It's so funny.
Okay, hold on.
Samantha, I love that. OCD. Yeah.
CDO.
It's like OCD except in alphabetical order. I love that.
That's
how
awesome.
It should be. I love that.
And thank you, Sharon, for the PayPal. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sometimes my phone. Yeah, so I got Maria, Pamela, and Sharon. Thank you guys so much. You're awesome. So we got about 4 more minutes.
Then I'm going to bed, guys, because it's 1 in the morning.
It's late.
I love being here, but yeah. Okay.
So any final thoughts? What do you think? Just because I know we wanted to quickly touch on Dylan real quick. So what do you think with the latest? I wanted to play the interview, but you probably don't have enough time. But you kind of seen and heard it. The mother talking about.
I watched it on your channel first, actually, when you played it, because everyone was saying there's a new interview, and I'm like, where? And then you played it, and I'm like, wow. So that was a lot. I can understand why you're going to go over it again later, because
she said crime scene.
She said crime scene.
Yeah, twice.
And use a lot of past tense, which is not very encouraging, but you just never know. You just never know. As Black Dove said, he might still be alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Galindo, right? New to your channel, started following when Dylan went missing. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't butcher that. Thank you so much. That interview was crazy. Because what do you think? Because she says, we don't want anybody out there searching.
I know.
What do you think? Any ideas?
It sounds sad. That's what I want to say. It sounds her language is very conclusive, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and
Which
she seemed
sounds
like she was tore up.
yeah, definitely torn up, and it sounds conclusive, and like, well, now we're just waiting for. It sounds like the investigation to continue, right? Or for someone to talk, which is probably why that reward, as you said, is so high as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me wonder. That's why I would love to see what Steve, his thoughts on it are. But so
Renee says, I can't go to bed. I can't go to bed, Renee. I have to. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Serena Smiles, for becoming a member. You're awesome. We will have some new videos. So for those that are newer members and just kind of wondering the kind of videos I do, this is the kind of videos you'll get as a member.
Oh, fun. I like this video.
Jesus fucking squirrel. Scared the shit out of me.
That squirrel.
Jesus fucking squirrel.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
Those are kind of that's a members only video, but I thought I'd play that for you guys. I think I played that once before, but that's
and you've got the emoji.
So that was that was in Lucin. That was at the water hole, which is about about 4 miles away from the grain shed. So, but I love the you gotta love that. Classic. So, okay, it's on the hour. Last words, last thoughts, Gisela.
I just want to say I'm honored to be in your orbit and to be your friend and to know you already. I've been aware of you since the Gabby Petito case, but to actually connect with you and collaborate, we have a lot in common. Missing persons cases, we're passionate about covering trailers, of course, and really being honest, authentic, and building great communities, which are great to cross-pollinate with, right? I mean, our communities are very similar. So thank you for sharing your journey with me as well.
Yes,
it's great to have met you and to let's continue going on. Let's see what happens in the next year, right?
Yes.
Let's meet. We'll meet before then. Don't worry, guys. But let's meet again at the 2-year mark. It would be amazing to see.
I would be honored.
Right.
Honored and humbled as always to be on the show and collaborate with you. You're amazing. So.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and thank you everyone that said pajama party. Yeah, no, I gotta. I might be in the chat though, guys, for a little bit. I might be in the chat. I often am while I'm getting ready for bed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, have a good night, Gisela. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show. I'll be watching as much as I can, and then of course, as always, watch the replay. I'm replay crew quite often because of the time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much. See you, Gisela. Okay, so I appreciate Gisela coming on. Of course, she's in the Netherlands, so she's God, what time is it? She's 8 hours ahead, so it's 1 o'clock for her, so it's late. So now we have Steve. So he is a former detective. I'll let him kind of introduce himself. But an amazing guy. He just started his channel not too long ago and hit that 1,000. So we're going to bring him on here. Hey, Steve, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you tonight?
Amazing, buddy. Congratulations on your 1K. You hit that the other day, right?
I did. And owe a lot of it to all the people that helped me get to where I currently am. And you played a large part in that.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Like I said, it's always cool. I've always, wanted to work in law enforcement. Just unfortunately, never went that way. But so I always respect law enforcement and detective work. I had a grandfather that was a detective, and just thought it'd be really cool. But so I just I've always wanted to pick the brains, and your thoughts and theories, because you with the Delphi case, that's how we kind of met, and the things that kind of a checklist that you usually have that you send to me is amazing. So great.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of money spent for my training in my career for me to get throughout. I spent 20 years in law enforcement and became a state certified crime scene tech and worked investigations, everything from simple burglaries to homicides. And during that, we had all different types of training and during my career. And now that I'm retired and I've come into this web sleuth world and saw what was going on and seeing that there's such a large community out there that wants to help these victims and these families and trying to have an impact. And so I stepped back into the arena of trying to use my brain and so that I could, be an ambassador for law enforcement. And so far it worked out.
No, and that's awesome because, like I said, a lot of us are just, amateur sleuths, and it's cool to actually have, be able to pick the brain of someone that's been in that field and knows, like I said, you've got procedures that you've done over and over. You've have these like I said, these checklists that you have that you send to me that are just, it's amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like it's the most basic things. It's like you don't even think about that,
And it's true. I mean, and it's just logic. And you have a great knack for it. I mean, you go out and you test theories. You go out there and, what brought me, I think when I first came to your channel, you was in the low 20 something thousand. I mean, you still had a tremendous following and great community. And so, and that wasn't that long ago. I mean, you've blown up again. I mean, when you grow, you grow. And,
and it will happen to everybody as long as you put the work into it. Obviously it's the Dylan Rounds case, and that's something, I thought we'd kind of ask a couple questions in a little bit, and I'll get you kind of caught up. There's not a lot to it, but I would love to pick your brain on a few things. But yeah, it's there's a bigger case, obviously this is in my home state, so this hit home with me. He went missing. And it's not that far from where I live. I thought we could go out there and help look for him because it's in the desert. And I can't help but think of Susan Powell, who went missing in 2009. She went, obviously it was most likely Josh Powell, her ex-husband, killed her and just dropped her off somewhere in the desert. And she has never been found.
Oh yeah, I've been part of a lot of search parties, and a lot of times they don't turn out. I mean, they turn out the way that we expect them to, but sadly for the families, it's
yes, yeah. Quickly, Rocky K9, thank you so much for the $25. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. You're doing great. Keep it up, Chris. Thank you so much, Rocky K9. I really appreciate that. You're awesome. So, let me hide this real quick. So, 1 year, crazy. I assume you've been watching kind of how I started. And like I said, I did these videos, and I didn't do live in the beginning. I just did uploads. But, I was just, the only views I got was probably from my own. I'd have 10 views on my video. You know what I mean? They're all 9 of them were me. And then maybe one's a friend. But then the Gabby Tito thing happened. And then that's when it kind of took off.
Yeah, I think I only have like 16 videos out there. So I'm new to the crowd. I don't fully understand what me and the missus, as we create our content, we go out there and try to get the word out and doing everything. I mean, I've been very fortunate because I've grown, rather quickly for, coming from nowhere. But like I said, I have certain skill sets that I have that I share, and that's helped.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's amazing. And like I said, it's even inspired me to do other things that I was doing with the Delphi case. So for those that are kind of new, that don't know True Crime Web, he kind of has been covering the Delphi case and also the have you covered the Flora fires? Or
This week we're going to go into those a little bit. This week, the Flora fires. We've done the Evansdale. We did the newspaper boys. Iowa, and I've got 2 or 3 other cases. We just got through with the Karina McClurkin.
Yes,
and which law enforcement finally stepped up and did what they should have done about 5 years ago, and solved that case.
So let's hope they can get the ball rolling, because that's close to Delphi, right?
Yes, it's just a county or so over, I believe.
Yeah. So it's in Indiana, and so hopefully that does get the ball rolling. And then with Flora and Delphi, now, like I said, we'll kind of focus on Dylan Rounds, but the Delphi case is weird. I was following a blog. And this blog is not the most popular because the guy is just kind of a nut. But he's been covering it for almost 4 years now. And I've been paying attention to it for at least 2 years, constantly. And a lot of stuff is pretty out there, but he's had a few things right. He definitely has some sources. I would say that. He definitely has some sources. And he literally puts a July 4th saying that his source says that that they're a breath away from an arrest in the Delphi murders. Now, that's just take that with a huge grain of salt, of course. But I followed that blog for at least 2 years, and they've never hinted something like that before. I think they probably said it's close here and there once in a while, but they've never said something like this.
Well, hopefully so.
Yeah. And then you've got the murder sheet, who, they kind of been exposing the Kleins and the, Kagan Klein and Tony Klein. And then they just did another part to the Tony Klein series, which was kind of interesting because it looked like they were kind of walking away from Delphi for a bit, and now they're coming back to it. It's just kind of weird. And then I've heard some other rumors as well that they're close. So it would be interesting. I pray it is, for the family's sake.
Oh man, that plus there's a psychopath on the streets, unless he's in jail and they have, or they have him under surveillance and maintaining some type of control over it. Because otherwise, if they don't have a suspect, there's most certainly someone out there that's potentially on the street. Hopefully, regardless that he's in jail or being contained in some manner.
Yeah. So I will, because I can't believe it's going so fast. I can't believe it. We're already like an hour into the show. This is crazy. That 1 hour with Gisela went by so fast. I feel like it just started. So I had all these videos to play, but
play them.
Yeah. So I'm going to play, this is a video I made, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but we're going to, just because I know you said you kind of heard of the Dylan Rounds case, but obviously, clearly, you haven't really followed it like I have and been out there. And so this is, where am I at here? Okay, I think this is it. Okay, so this is just kind of a timeline. Now, this timeline is, I did this like 3 weeks ago. About 3 weeks ago. There's some things that need to be changed, obviously, because as obviously things get cleared up. And
search for 19-year-old Dylan Rounds with a criminal investigation. Tonight we are hearing from the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office and from Dylan's mom. News Specialist Matt Rascone has more on what we know about this search. Matt, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Mike, it's not a whole lot of details right now. The family is saying that Dylan Rounds was last heard from or seen May 28th and then was reported missing on May 30th. The sheriff's office says this is a top priority. They have all 5 of their detectives on the case searching for answers for Dylan's family.
2.5 weeks into the search through this barren desert.
It's been horrible because we don't have anything.
There's still no clear direction.
I mean, we have beat that desert.
For where 19-year-old Dylan Rounds could be.
We go down the rabbit hole and there's nothing. We come back out of it and we jump down another one and there's still nothing.
frustrating doesn't begin to describe the experience for Dylan's mom, Candace Cooley.
Oh, it's terrible, the not knowing.
Dylan has been living in this trailer off and on for the last few years.
It's all there. It's like he just vanished.
Working the land.
His farm was his life. For him to just walk away, we knew was not a possibility.
Oh, if I could summarize this search, it would be difficult and exhausting.
Box Elder County Chief Deputy Cade Palmer says volunteer teams have logged 300 plus hours of searching, covering more than 3,000 miles, and still no answer.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris. I'm gonna skip the end for that to the paranormal. This is Lucin.
Okay, so this is the timeline here, and I'll correct some things because, like I said, there's been a few things that changed, but I'll play like the first 2 minutes, which are the most important. Let's kind of give you an insight of the timeline.
Utah, a vast desert with a very small population that Dylan Rounds had a farm on. His farm was located here, along with his camper and a water hole he used to water his crops. Dylan Rounds was 19 when he went missing during Memorial Weekend. He was last seen physically at a bar in Montello, Nevada called the Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. He used his debit card on the 26th of May. Rounds was last heard from on the 28th of May, just before 7 a.m., on a phone call between Rounds and his grandmother. He told his grandmother he was putting his grain truck inside the shed because it was going to storm. There was a decent storm with wind and rain that passed over that weekend. After multiple failed attempts from the family trying to reach Dylan over Saturday and Sunday, the family grew concerned and came out that following Monday to check on Dylan. His truck was found on the farm next to the trailer, but Dylan was not around. They immediately found some concerning details about Dylan's truck, including the seat was pulled all the way forward, as well as the truck was set to 4 low for 4-wheel drive. But Dylan and the family knew that he never uses 4L since the 4-wheel drive does not work. The family would also realize that the truck had been power washed recently, and whoever did this forgot to clean the wheel well.
Now, update on that. Now, we don't know 100%, but a lot of people are saying a guy in town says that Dylan was actually the last one to clean it, and he would forget to clean the wheel wells. So I could almost see that almost being the case here. Is it was power washed by Dylan, but that's not 100% fact, but I would lean that it's probably more likely than somebody else power washing it. So.
During that Monday that the family was out there, they went to where Dylan keeps his grain truck, and after filing a missing person report.
And this is interesting. So this is the grain truck here, and then the boots were found over the hill to the left there. It's about 100 yards from that grain truck, and the boots, there's a little hill right where that arrow is, where it says where the boots were found. It's just a little mound. Apparently that's kind of like a burn pile, and his boots were just found to just look like tossed. So that's about the there's a little bit other things, new some updates, but we'll stick with that for right now.
Law enforcement found the boots that belonged to Dylan's about 100 yards from the grain shed. Dylan only owned one pair of boots, and they also noticed what looked like a spot of blood on them as well.
For sure.
They also noticed that his wallet, cell phone, and key fob were missing.
Okay, so that now we've learned the only thing that's missing is the wallet. Let me go back to that.
They noticed that his wallet, cell phone, and key fob.
So rumor has it they found the cell phone. So not 100% on the cell phone. The wallet still has not been found. The key fob was found. It was there in his trailer. And I guess it's a bigger key fob than the one that we're used to, I guess. So really it's his wallet, I think, that's just missing, and him as far as personal items.
Were missing. There also have been conflicting reports on whether one of his guns were missing as well.
And so they thought a gun was missing, but apparently that was also in the trailer. His trailer was very dirty.
The following day, on Tuesday, the mother received a call from a guy named Kurt who lives in Montello, Nevada.
Okay, we're going to skip this. This is ended up just being a misunderstanding. So one of the first guys that was arrested in not direct connection to Dylan, but it's just because it's one of the last people that people was known to Dylan to deal with was this Chase guy. He gave so Chase apparently stumbled out of the desert, needing a ride. And so Dylan gave him a ride back into Montello. But they did arrest him shortly after on some unrelated charges, including he had some charges in Montana that he was running from. And then also he had some gun charges that he was apparently he was stalking. So Black Dove says, 4 people have said the key fob and 40 cal Glock were found. 1 person said the phone may have been found. Right. Thank you, Black Dove. Black Dove's been following this case quite well. So thank you, Black Dove. So Chase Venstra, I think he knows something. I don't know if he's the killer, but I think he does. He could know something.
Was thought to have been involved in the disappearance of Dylan, the border, and you also spoke with the locals. Moving along the timeline, when approaching the 3rd week, law enforcement from Idaho, Texas Equisearch.
Okay, so now I'm just updating the searches. Nothing really relevant there. I'm not really going to go over the Wadsworth. I'm really starting, in my opinion, I'm starting to think they're kind of okay. The boots had blood on them, and I think it's been officially confirmed now that there was blood. Not sure if it's his or not, but I'm pretty sure it's probably his. So that is basically the timeline. Now it's been he's almost missing for 2 months now. So they haven't found the body. And now they've arrested one other person, and that's James Brenner, who they know as Jim. He has fairly dark past, and he was also stocking guns and ammunition. And he was arrested almost towards the first month that he'd been missing. And he has been labeled a suspect now as well. So let me play you part of the interview that was released 2 days ago. This is what I think. And so I was talking to the locals out there because they said whatever went down was at that green shed. And let me show you just so you can get an overview of what this is. Definitely, I would love to have you on for like a regular show because I know this is my 1 year anniversary, but maybe this is something we could set up a show down the road, next week or something, or this week.
Absolutely.
So just
whatever.
Because I would love to have a law enforcement's opinion on this. So let me just give you a little overview so you can kind of understand the terrain. So his farm was here. His camper and his truck were found here. The grain truck and boots, this is 5 miles west, were found here. So, and that Saturday, this is Memorial Weekend. The Saturday, the 28th, he called his grandmother. His grandmother called him at 6:51 a.m. Short conversation said, he told his grandmother, hey, I've got to get the grain shed inside. I'll talk to you later, whatever, because, it's going to storm. So quick conversation. And the only last known cell phone ping was apparently at, some say 2:41, but we'll just state for right now until I can confirm it. 3:41 was his last cell phone ping on that same day, approximately right here. So that's just kind of an overview of what's gone down. And then the thing with the truck, because they thought, well, maybe, they showed up, he drove his truck to the grain shed. People showed up. Oops, sorry, let me zoom out. Some people showed up, shot him or whatever, tossed the boots, which would be weird. And then dumped his body somewhere, and then they put the truck in 4 low. But the problem with 4 low, truck being in 4 low, is the transmission when it was put in wrong, and so the truck actually didn't work in 4 low. And so the family knew it, Dylan knew it, and maybe some close associates might have known that. But it was weird that they found his truck in 4 low and the seat pulled forward. Of course, he's, I think, like 5, I forget his height, but he's over 5 feet. So obviously, the mom said she was 4 foot something, and she'd usually have to pull the seat forward, but she didn't have to. Sadly, they didn't know what was going on. They couldn't find the key fob in the beginning, so they actually broke the window to the truck and pretty much contaminated the scene with the truck, unfortunately. So for as far as evidence being in the truck, unless they can put luminol and see if there's any blood,
Yes.
I don't think there's much other you could do, really, right? I mean, if they contaminated it.
No, there's.
I mean, oh, go ahead.
No, anytime you process interior of the vehicle, or there's everything from tape lifts, vacuumings, carpet removals, seat covering removals. It's just whatever you want to do to that crime scene. And if you have indications that possibly the vehicle was occupied by someone other than the owner, and if it's involving a homicide, most certainly you'll strip that and get the lab personnel out there to process it. There's so much to process on a vehicle. Some of it's going to be that luminol as a presumptive test for blood, but and then, you know, regardless of how many people has been in that vehicle, if you have an explanation of why you've been in there, fine. But you're looking for that DNA profile or that fingerprint that's on the back of that mirror, or that's on the underside of that, or on the underside of that steering wheel, or near that key ignition, or on wherever the adjustments for the seats are. There's so many things that you can process that may have not been touched. Just because somebody's been in there doesn't mean it's been destroyed. And
true.
There's so much in there that you can process. I don't care if there's been 50 people in there. All you're looking for is that one person that wasn't and can't explain why they're in there, or why their profile's in there, or something that belongs to them that most certainly identifies them as somebody that's been in that truck.
Yeah. So, gosh, like I said, I've got so many questions, and we'll probably do, like I said, I'll probably have Steve on, hopefully sometime we'll set up something this week. I would love to really pick your brain more, but there's one other question, my biggest question I have. And so let me play you part of the interview, because like I said, this is really just supposed to be a party stream, but I knew if I had you on, I would love to pick your brain, because I don't know how many people have actually had law enforcement's opinion on this, you know, from an outside, you know, view. So I'm going to play just part of the interview. There's just a few things that like bother me that I'm like, what, why are they doing this? So here, I'll play this.
I'm Nate Eaton here with Candace Cooley in the area, or we're in the area at Chase Ben's.
So this is his mother, Candace Cooley. Now the parents are divorced, so you usually either see the mother or the father on. They had a bad divorce, but it's not important. So this is the interview a couple days ago. She hasn't been on for a while, so it was very interesting to see her come on. But she shares some very interesting stuff that I would love to pick your brain about.
Who has appeared in court, and then we have the other neighbor who was James Brenner.
Correct.
So can you tell people who are just tuning in how those guys knew your son and about the charges?
Yeah, so James, I know him as Jim, he helped Dylan day work off and on. He helped him in southern Idaho take apart his pivot. He lived out on the property. He squatted out on the property when Dylan first discovered the area when he was like 15. He might have been 16 years old. So just a work acquaintance. I mean, you know, when you're out there and you've only got 6 people around you, you kind of get to know everybody. So that's how him and Jim, you know, it was just, he'd help him on the farm when he needed it. As far as Chase, I never heard Dylan say that man's name, ever, until all this happened. I have no clue. I don't think they knew each other. I mean, probably just in passing from being in Montello and stuff. I did find out that Chase's son helped Dylan last summer on some day work, I believe.
Yeah, everybody's saying we would love to see a show with me and you. With you on us talking about the case. So everybody's saying they're subbing to your channel, so that's awesome. Yeah, you can already see Steve. He's taking notes right now. What an amazing guy. I'm sorry to pause it. I have to kind of pause it, or I'll get flagged. So,
yes.
We have to commentate over it. That's how fair use works. There was something I wanted to share with you that it was mentioned in this. It was big too. Okay, I'll think of it and I will let you know. It's something that you need to know.
When they were putting in the main line, but not Chase.
Oh, I know. Okay, real quick, just to let you know, he acquired 30,000 check, basically a week before this happened, or days or weeks before this happened. $30,000 check. Now you've got Montello. Let me just quickly. Well, I'll show you. Montello's just west of this little Lucin area. The highway goes two ways, really, west and east. West takes you to Nevada, to this small little town Montello, which has got a population of, 90 to 100 people. And obviously, it's a small town. Word gets out. And I think as far as motive, that's probably big on the list. So I just wanted to share that with you.
And that was just one of the run into him in the Montello store and say, hey, you want to come out and help? I'm looking for help. But other than that, I never heard Dylan say Chase's name.
Okay, so James Brenner, it sounds like he's a felon, and so when the police went out to just serve a search warrant around the time that Dylan disappeared, they found weapons in his trailer.
Correct.
And he, as a felon, you're not allowed to own weapons. So he's been arrested. So he's been charged with possessing a firearm as a felon.
Correct.
And he's in custody in Utah. And then Chase Venstra also is in custody on firearms charges.
Yeah, and his charges, the last I know, and that may be the court appearance you heard about yesterday, was now the firearms that were in Chase's motorhome have been traced back to being stolen. And so now it goes a step higher because not only were you a felon with firearms, but you had stolen ones, which they're pretty sure he stole.
So you've got these two characters that lived out there. Do you think that they know what happened to Dylan? Or,
so Chase didn't live out there.
Or Chase did not live out there. But
Okay, so I'm going to skip this forward because this is fairly long. And like I said, I just want to jump to the most important part, which is...
We honestly haven't been told. But that's when they went in and got the search warrant. So in that affidavit...
Okay, so we're just talking about
believe that these guys might know something.
Correct.
Or that...
out there. That is ridiculous. Dylan heard about this. Good to make that dream come true. Fell into place. And I've been told it was Simplots that were there. Farm help out there lived in their camper.
With one or more of the men out there.
Yeah, help you go to anybody. The YouTubers, all of this family are sticking to and just...
If it was my kid, I'd be...
all over it. You take somebody who's seen, we've gathered evidence, it's kind of taken a different direction. And we need to let it go that direction and not destroy what's left.
Okay, so now I'm going to play it from here. So that middle part kind of talks about the YouTube stuff, not important. But this is where it comes to my question that I want to ask you here in just a minute. So
Dylan's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
20th?
20th.
On
a little bit more.
So Hazelton, Magic Valley area, and he's always in the fields.
I know when there's missing people's cases, in the beginning you think of every scenario possible.
Right.
Are they alive? Are they dead? Where could they be hiding? Are they kidnapped? Whatever it may be. And when those court documents came out that said homicide investigation, and when you've learned more and more that the public may not know, what has the feeling been like in your mind?
Honestly, to have Box Elder switch it and say those words has been a relief, because what needs to be done is getting done.
So have you been in a situation like that, Steve, where you have someone missing and they now label it as a homicide investigation instead of a missing persons case, without really, all they have is boots and no body?
they have something leading them. They have
Right.
more than what they've released.
Clearly, that's what I think. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that's what I'm saying is that when you, you always hope that it is just a missing person, runaway, found a new love, whatever. But when law enforcement starts stating that they've changed it from a missing person to a homicide, that's
They've
a
got
new
something.
direction, most certainly.
Now, would you say just even a spot of blood on boots, would that be enough to switch it to homicide, or do you think they'd need a little more than that?
It depends. If it's farm boots, I've worked on a farm most of my life, and farmers always cut themselves, and
right.
And so you can have your own self-inflicted injury and get blood on your boots or clothing or otherwise. But were the boots, if those were his only boots that had blood on them, they're been tossed somewhere. I worked homicide. When we first looked at it and everything, it was from a bank robber that his partner was found out in the woods. I've actually located the vehicle first, and there was a pair of boots in the vehicle. And I think I was like the third or fourth officer in a 2-week period to check the vehicle. But when I got there and I found the boots, I found the body about 60 feet away because there are certain reasons people take shoes and boots off because it is a method of control that if you're trying to maintain control of someone to keep them from running away or something, you take the boots off.
Take the boots off.
Yeah. And then they're barefoot, and so they can't run or can't run as fast. And that's what happened with the bank robber suspect, that he had left a note that he was on the dash of the truck that he was going to go to Mexico, but the body wasn't hid real well in the Lowell ravine. I found it. It was covered up, but I found it. And,
wow.
But it's just part of it. And like I said, when I first heard that the boots were near there, but then again, you got to look at where the boots are. Is it someone else trying to stage? If they're just tossed, is someone else just trying to stage a crime scene to mislead and redirect the investigations to where it involves someone else? We don't have all the information, but they do. And whatever they have has led them to being quite serious. It's a homicide investigation now.
So I was trying to find this, and I think I just skipped it. She uses, now this is the first time this has ever been heard, she uses the word crime scene. I wish I could find it, but I'll just I don't want to spend too much time. But she uses she uses the word crime scene. She actually uses it twice. I don't think she meant to say it, but she said it, and that's at the grain truck location. And my contacts on week 2 said, because when we went out there the second time, that's when we saw the FBI. We ran into the FBI, and I think this is when they were actually finding. We saw stuff being hauled off, and then right after I left, I got a call like the next day or the day after saying they actually roped it off like crime scene tape, is what the locals said. And I know she wouldn't make that, she lives right here. I'll actually show you just to kind of give you an idea. Back it out here. So where these little two red, see this little mountain in the middle here? She lives right on that little mountain there. So she's got like a 360 eagle eye of the little desert around here. So she could see the sun tunnels. And obviously this is miles out, but she says that they had seen crime scene tape put up around. Okay. So, and I even said in one of my lives weeks ago, I'm like, I actually used the word murder scene, but I meant to say crime scene I was trying to, that's what I was implying those. I think they did find where something went down. Yeah. And they've been out in that particular location where they found the boots for weeks.
Yeah. And they may have found, there's all types of searches they could have done. They could have done metal detecting, found a bullet
Yes.
that may have been a pass through, that may have some type of clothing,
Ooh.
blood, bone. Depends on what type of ammunition that could be embedded in it.
Yep.
That was a pass through. You can bring in cadaver dogs that will, the resources and the that they can bring in through the feds is absolutely remarkable. And that what canines can do on crime scenes as far as identifying certain things most certainly could be part of it. Of course, we don't know because I don't believe they've released any of that I know of. But I look forward to hearing all the other information as it comes out. But there's so much can be read into that they've changed it to a homicide, and they did that for a reason.
Right.
There's something that they found near that, near the boots, and or within, is it an abduction at a crime scene? Is it, what type of crime scenes? There's a lot of different types of crime scenes, or is it a homicide crime scene? And what have they collected, and how much ground did they collect? And, did they do the metal detecting and find something? Who knows?
Yeah, so they're saying they're doing soil samples. She even says that in the interview. So what a lot of people are asking, so what does soil samples mean?
Well, there's all different kinds of things that they could go that the dogs have, located on a certain location that they brought them in, and and the dog sat and said, this is it. This is, whatever the handler says that this is a certain area, and they'll bring in not just one, but they'll verify those locations, and they won't tell the other dog handlers what's going on or where to go. And then when you have another dog that might be trained in the same discipline that verifies,
and hits on the same location. Yeah.
Yes. And now you start narrowing the field and what we need to do there. And
wow.
Do you take that top inch of soil? What do you do? And most certainly they can. And it'd be almost like an archaeological dig. And they'll go in there and grid it off. And because you really don't get one good chance at this.
Yeah.
And so now that it's a homicide and the family knows that may be the reason they're saying, because there's certain rules about if a homicide occurs, how far does the killer stay with that body during transport? Now, it was in the old days of when we went through the profiling and stuff about there's a clock internally in humans, and there's human nature about that. If you have a body and you're transporting it, how much stress can you take? Because the longer you're with a dead body, the more likely you are to get caught. And so if they've cut off the areas around there and they don't want you searching near there, they're probably invoking some of those rules.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I heard soil samples. I was thinking something maybe like blood drops, or even, did they try to bury him super deep, and, or shell casings, obviously. That's what I think they found.
Struggle. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Shooting is one thing. There's other ways of. Man has been killing each other thousands of years with everything from a rock to a stick to most certainly around a farm. There's all types of implements that could cause serious bodily injuries. There may have been signs of a struggle inside the shed. He could have disrupted something, or he could have came across something. And at any time during that day and during that period, and or someone may have set him up. There's so many different possibilities.
Yeah. Everybody's loving this. Like I said, we'll definitely do because I know I planned on talking about my journey. I know it's my 1 year anniversary, but I'm like, when I get a chance to talk with Steve, I just want to pick his brain because he's so just so smart and amazing, and he has just so much experience. And the other thing, my biggest question, this is my biggest question out of all of it, is they say they do not want anybody looking for Dylan, but they confirmed that they have not found him. So what do you think? They've got two guys in custody. right now. One's basically labeled a suspect. The other guy, you know, they both were hiding guns and stuff. But they don't want anybody searching, not even in their surrounding, you know, like they just don't want anybody searching. What do you think about that?
I will tell you that a possibility of that off there.
Okay. Also, there's $100,000 reward. Do you think they could like, let's say there's one guy that's the murderer, there's the other guy that's just the accomplice that's going to do a couple of years if he rolls on the other guy. Are they trying to save all this work of trying to find the kid by just putting a little more incentive on one guy to, you know, roll on the other?
Well, I mean, there's always, you know, if they have enough to have somebody in jail, you know, you always have the jailhouse, what they call rats and otherwise.
Yeah.
They're looking for a easy out, because if there is an accomplice, you know, he most certainly will try the role. And it's not always the first one, you know, that the first one that rolls sometimes is the one that is the trigger man, that he's just trying to pass it on and get the first word in and blame it on the other. And then it's 50-50. I mean, the reward money is for more like, you know, that's from the people that's not involved in it. They're not going to give the reward money to a co-offender.
Now, I've seen them offer it in some cases, very, you know, slim, but you don't think they would offer the reward if it was just accomplice? You don't think?
No. It wouldn't do any good, I don't think, because the family just, you know, go after it and get it. I mean, you know, because you can't get paid to kill people.
No, but I mean, just an accomplice, not like, you know, like the getaway driver. They wouldn't even consider that, or.
Oh, now when you get to that level, that far out, I was talking about that. You know, one of them holds him, the other one shoots him or stabs him.
Not that scenario. Yeah, just like the getaway driver, someone that.
Somebody picks up somebody from off the side of the road.
Yeah.
And, you might be able to see where something like that could happen, and they're scared of, and they invoke that they were in great fear of an individual. And I think there's only, you know, most certainly one of these individuals has quite a history, or well, both of them have quite a history, but one of them is extremely got some issues.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I was just like I said. You said you're going to tell me it off the air, but because I'm like,
I hate to do that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Like I said, and this wasn't like I said, I told everybody that we would kind of touch on it today, and I knew like I said, I could ask you questions all day because I've been out there. It's not only of my covering this.
And the reason I said that is that information can absolutely destroy the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay, sure.
And that's the only reason that is something that could absolutely destroy the case, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, for sure. No, we don't. Especially if it involves, finding Dylan, because, like I said, we've gone out there, but like I said, it's one thing if they put out a statement saying, "Hey, we appreciate you guys looking, just don't come to Lucin area." But if you want to search in the surrounding areas, go for it. But they don't want like anybody searching at all. Period. Is from what it sounds like, But then in that same interview, she says, no, they have not found him. I do have one theory, and that's they I don't know, maybe they cremated him or something, but if they found the body, they would have to tell people, right? The public, or can they keep that a secret?
With law enforcement, there's no, they don't have to disclose all the information or where they're at in an investigation while it's open. And they can seal it even after it's closed to a certain extent, all the way up to prosecution when it goes to court. But it's extremely hard to dispose of a body. It's not as simple as you think, but there's certain techniques. And you know, in the making of a murderer on
Yes.
that series, they show you how
Burn-
hard it is, but still, you still have bone fragments and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not easy to burn a body.
Yeah, you need a burn barrel. You need something to contain the
heat
energy.
and
Yeah,
focus
you can't
that.
just. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you have to focus that thermal
Yep.
heat.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people think that you can just throw a body on a bonfire and it'll just burn down to bone and ash. That don't work that way because you're always expelling the energy from the fire. That's why there's crematoriums. There's why what you call burn barrels, because it contains the energy and it heats up. You just can't get that temperature high enough to actually consume, you know, the bone and all that down to the ash, I guess you could say. And that's why it was really stupid that they unfortunately just didn't know about, you know, when it comes to the Stephen Avery case and Teresa Hallback, that there's no way her body could have been burned in that burn pit, you know, and melted down to the way it was. It clearly happened somewhere else, and then it was scattered, sadly. But that's, God, that case, crazy. So let's see, what time is it? So it's almost 6. So we've got about an hour and a half. So yeah, maybe we'll set something up. What is there a day that's good for you, like in the middle of the week?
Other than Wednesday or Saturdays are the 2 days I usually do my podcast, but I could do one after either one of those days, because I usually go on the air around 8, and I'm usually done by 9:15.
Okay, so you go.
So any time that's after the 9:15 or so, 7 days a week, I'm available.
Cool. So yeah, Wednesday and Saturday, right?
That's the 2 days I'm generally putting something out there right now. Eventually, as my channel grows, I'm going to have more and more. But right now, I still run a business and still do some consulting and working a lot of additional stuff where people are sending me cold case stuff to look at, and trying to build up our website and build up our database for the children. We're in so many different directions right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So like I said, just reading chat real quick. If you have a question for Steve, since we have him, we might do like one or two. I was thinking about doing a Q&A because like I said, I kind of wanted to keep this on the anniversary side of things, but like I said, when you get somebody from law enforcement, and I've been dying to ask somebody, you know, what's just going on, because like I said, it's not just covering the case, but when it's here in your home state, and then we've been actually going out there and looking for the kid, and you know, putting ourselves at risk, you know, to find him. And like I said, it's not like a big risk. People think we're, you know, there's rattlesnakes everywhere, but you know, we've been safe and cautious, and other than, you know, losing a car, we've been pretty good. So, but yeah, this case is crazy. So.
Oh, it is. Absolutely. And I hate that I haven't followed it as closely. Every now and then I check in on your videos and see you out there walking, being under the drone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool having that drone and having the support, you know, especially with the search and rescue. Been working alongside them, you know, not with them, but alongside them. I try to not mix that up. But it's really cool. And then they review our footage, and they've got amazing technology, and they're still reviewing. Our last time we went out there was our biggest attempt at finding Dylan, and we went to a bunch of different locations, and of course away from Lucin, you know, because there's still one of the things I'll even show you right here on the map. So like I said, there's two main highways, there's just two main ways as far as the highway goes where you can go. You can either go west into Nevada, you know, here, and this is where the Montello is. So you got Highway 30 right here. Or you go east, and it kind of loops up here, and it takes you into a town that's called Park Valley. Now, what's interesting about Park Valley is during week 2, week 3 is when FBI showed up in Park Valley, checking, talking to people, checking to see if there were security cameras. So it was kind of interesting what they were doing up there. What brought them up there. And so we've been doing once they said, they didn't really want anybody searching near the Lucin area, that's when we kind of focused our attention around the Park Valley area. And that way we knew that we weren't getting in the way with law enforcement, and respecting the family's wishes. But so or as much as we can anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a limited number of people that lives within these communities that.
Yes.
That this happened, and so within the, when you start crunching the numbers of how many bad guys live within that community, it lessens your field of POIs greatly, and so you only have a limited number of because good, honest, hardworking people just don't go out and dispose of people or rob people. It takes someone that has some type of intent. And so law enforcement knows who the most likelies are, and they focused on those, and they'll weed them out. And I most certainly believe that they'll, if they don't already have them in jail, they will shortly.
Yeah. So last little thoughts on this case, and then we'll kind of get ready for the end here. But one of the theories is it was a possibility he just walked to the grain truck, because the mother did say he did walk that occasionally. There have been some conflicting reports on that from a guy that actually knows Dylan quite well and says Dylan was lazy and never would walk. But either way, he's at the grain shed location. They think that somebody, they heard about that $30K. For some reason thought he was going to have that $30K or a good chunk of money on his person. And of course, now what I haven't told you about Dylan that you may not know is Dylan was ahead of his time. Even though he's 19 years old, he's like 25 years old or 35 years old. He's ahead of his time. He was already working. He quit school early because of COVID. He was a farmer. He was born a farmer, basically, if that makes sense. So he was ahead of his years. And so the only problem with that is he would actually rub people the wrong way because he was kind of cocky for, here's a teenager. You got 2 adults working for you, I talked to the locals and they're like, when somebody needed something done, Dylan would order Don or Jim out to go fix whatever. So, it's kind of weird. You got a kid sending adults out, and then they said that he could, even though he's a great kid, nothing but great things to say about him, he's still just kind of slightly arrogant, for his age. Any teenagers, kind of, that's just a teenager, So
well, on the $30,000 theory, and that's an excellent point to bring up, for the fact that it doesn't matter what Dylan knew, it doesn't matter what the bank knew, it's what the criminal thought.
Yes,
that's where it lies. Because they have they have it. I'm going to get it, and that he has it stashed. It's in that trailer. It's in that truck. It's somewhere, and so it's always what the criminal believes, and it's within their little fantasy world of what they act upon, regardless if it's true or not. You're dealing with meth heads, and or you're dealing with someone that is, has chosen that life of crime, and it's an easy out for them, and they take the path of least resistance, trying to get money, and for whatever to feed their drug habits or whatever their lifestyle is.
Yeah, and I've been really careful because let me quickly, Bella Amherst, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. You're so awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm trying to, like I said, I got Steve, and it's not often I have Steve, and so I'm like, it's love to just pick his brain. But with that, obviously the money, I think that's a great, probably the best motive on the table. There's a few others that are water rights, but the problem I have with water rights is this is his first season. I could get if he was been watering crops and people were like, oh man, you're consuming all the water. But this was his first season. Like, he just planted his crops. He hasn't been really out there watering, Yes, he had dig the well and everything, but this was his first, actual official season. So the water rights, I think, would be kind of a little bit lower on my list because he hadn't really been, planting or, watering crops yet, at a full, with a full season.
Yeah. I have no idea. Like I said, we'll get into that and at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely we'll do a show. We'll aim for maybe a Tuesday or Thursday. I'll see what my schedule is, and love to pick your brain, and we'll get you up to speed. So let me just quickly let me just look at my phone here. Will gifted donations. Thank you so much. Geneva, thank you for the donation. I'm sorry if I missed. And Aries gifted memberships. Thank you, guys. I don't know why when you're on StreamYard, it does not show when people gift memberships on StreamYard. It's so dumb. That sucks. And Black Dove says that Don H said Jim was at Don H's place from 3 to 9. Jim told Kurt he was at 1 to 5. Kurt asked to see Jim's phone allegedly. Very conflicting reports of where he was. Okay. I'll have to. And Black Dove, I don't think you emailed me correctly. If you could try looking at my email very carefully when you email me. Everybody does it. And if you could, I would love to get with you sometime, Black Dove. Thank you, Steve. Erica says, just see if there's any questions real quick. Michelle, you were so right to mention the way Chris treats his guests. Just so nice. Thank you, Michelle. Jamie says, great to have you here with you and Chris. Great to have you, Steve, here with Chris.
It's an honor. I hope Chris doesn't forget me when he gets to 100,000 or 250,000, and he remembers the little guys.
No, I've been thinking about you since this case has started, and the only reason I haven't had you on sooner is because we've just been going out there, and it just takes a lot out of us, and then we have to go through the drone footage, and then, of course, you know how it is when you've got a channel. Well, now you've got a channel, you kind of understand that, especially when you have members, that I always worry about content for members. I'm always like, I want to make sure, especially exclusive content for the people that are paying. I try to get back as much as I can. Tom Mann, thank you so much, buddy. Late for the show. Thank you for all of the content. Thank you, Tom Mann. Kim Shine, does he think there is more than one person involved? I think there's at least two involved. Steve is new to this case, so he may not have enough to make a decision.
Not this time. I have no idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. Yeah, Steve's a little bit newer to this case, so I've been trying to catch him up, but there's probably a lot that I'd still have to kind of share with him. So, because there is a few other players that are kind of involved, but I don't know how much relevance they have. But in my opinion, I think there's at least two people, maybe three tops, but I think there's maybe 1 to 2 shooters and then an accomplice. Whether what the accomplice did, maybe it's just a driver or whatever, but yeah, need 2 to body dump. Exactly. That's why I think at least 2, for sure, since I haven't found him.
You must have a motive and everything then, Chris.
Well, yeah, like I said, I think the 30,000 is
okay.
And then because the town, and I'm not saying the town of Montello, they're all meth heads, but obviously every town has their bad apples. Every town does.
They do.
So, just because there's 2 people that are big meth heads out in Montello doesn't mean the whole town's the whole town's meth heads. But that was something that happened early on in this investigation. There was a big YouTube channel that started this case, and there was some words said about the people out here are all, drug heads, and that really rubbed everybody the wrong way. And of course, when I went out there and actually talked to some of these locals, they were so hurt by the, what was said. And so, yeah, maybe one will roll on the other. That's what I'm hoping. So, let's see. Yeah, what's that? Members only. Oh yeah, Patty and Peak. That video I was just gonna tape because that was my first live I did. That video's old. It's not great. So don't worry about that video. You're not missing anything. It's actually a disaster. It was something I was gonna show since it's my 1 year anniversary. That was like my first live, and I just put it as members only, and I just wanted to quickly nab it off the internet, so I switched it to public, which I didn't realize was going to send to everybody. And so it's an old video, and it's irrelevant. So don't worry about the last live show. So with that said, mods, thank you so much. Jennifer, did I miss anybody? If you could let me know, I will quickly double check one more time. And so you just hit 1,000 subscribers, right?
About a week ago. I think
awesome.
I'm like 1,100 and something now. I gained another 100 and something this last week. So
that's awesome. And when did you start?
I believe my first video went out mid-May sometime. And,
so 2 months. Awesome. That's amazing. That's not bad at all.
Well, talking to a man that's been on the air for, and his average per month is, you're at 30, so you're almost at 3,000 a month. I mean, you're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and all it is you get one video going, and you just start you get YouTube's attention, then it just starts going. So, Patricia,
I think you've been a little modest.
No, it is. It's and I'll show you one more time, guys. Just one last thing before we go. Leona, thank you so much, and Patricia, thank you so much. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I will shout you out in the next video. I think that's everybody. Let me quickly just show you one last time. Just where you can go from nothing to something. And so if you look at the top here, on September 20th, I got 1,000 views. The next day, September 21st, 20,000. 40,000, 50,000, and then it would just kind of stuck at about 50,000, and then the one at the bottom was 150,000. So it just takes that one time to get YouTube's attention, and then your algorithm kind of just kind of starts pushing your content. So that's just kind of that's just it's just getting YouTube's attention, the algorithm's attention for some reason. A lot of times, people want to watch your content. It's just, will it get to you? Will it get to those viewers? And it just depends on YouTube a lot of times.
All right. Well,
so I thank you so much, Steve. We'll end it here. We've been putting your channel up in the comments, so I think a lot of people said they went over and sub to your channel.
Well, I appreciate all that, and I wish you the best. And I'll text you or email you or ever how you want to get what we discussed. I wanted to tell you off the air.
Yeah, if you want to just stay behind the scenes real quick, and I would love to hear that.
Okay, all right, just knock me off and close your show out. And I appreciate everybody. Thank y'all for everything y'all have done for Chris. He works hard on this channel. He's done so much for the community, and he's earned everything that he's got. And
thank you so much.
He's extremely hardworking. And I wish he had been in law enforcement, and I wish I'd had the opportunity to work with him.
I can't even tell you what that means to hear. That's so cool. Thank you so much, Steve. And we're going to try to have him on this week sometime, and we're going to have some law enforcement, kind of pick the brain of former law enforcement, which I think will be really cool in this case. And thank you, no thanks for the best wishes. Thank you, Darlene. Happy anniversary. Thank you, Steve and Chris. Thank you so much. Steve, I'm going to put you behind the scenes, and then Absolutely. I'll see you here in just a minute, buddy. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Lady M, Quentin, Happy Little Tree, Sharon, Karen Lee, all the mods, Lynn, Michelle. You guys are amazing. Rocky. I wish I could shout everybody out. Copper Horse, Jennifer, Sandy. I mean, I'd be here all night. Lady M. You guys are so awesome. Thank you guys so much. And we'll have a video out tomorrow, and then we'll probably have Steve on either Tuesday or Thursday. And we'll get to pick his brain some more on this case, which would be great to see. So, phone Chris. Okay, I'm checking. Pigeon Mac, thank you so much. And shout out to Jennifer. She keeps me on top of things. Geneva, you gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Aries, shout out for the gifted memberships. And thank you, Pigeon Mac. I don't know what you donated, but thank you so much. Sorry, it's a little crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find it now. So thank you guys so much. I am going to play the outro now. And I love you guys so much. And here's the latest pet video. Hopefully I play the right one. So I love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Nope, that's not it. We're going to find it here.
Welcome to the...
There it is. I found it. All right. Love you guys.